Good evening and welcome to tonight's broadcast of the Total Nonstop Racing League here at Auto Club Speedway. Joining me in the booth, as always, is Joe. I am Bob, and tonight this is going to be a very fun but challenging race for these drivers. Auto Club Speedway, the 2-mile racetrack. Multiple grooves, multiple different opportunities for these drivers out there. And it's going to be fun to see what's going on as this race goes around. As everyone out on the racetrack at the moment. As I attempt to get the overlay up and running on my side of the screen. Because, you know, technology is super fun.
Hey, it works half the time, all the time.
So, potentially this should be working. There we go. So, we've got the overlay up and running, thankfully. But this is going to be a fun one here tonight, Joe. A very tricky racetrack for these drivers. See a good little pack of cars here. That's the 28 of Jamar Dumas. In front of him is Jeremy Canute and the 36 of Steve Bevacqua. Those cars get real tight coming out of the corner. Let's jump on board here with Dumas and see if we can go a lap here around Auto Club Speedway with him. And as you can see, everyone, oh man, the 87, a little slow, made Jamar have to check up as he got sideways. As we'll jump on board with Canute now. But you can see all of these lanes, you can race anywhere here at Auto Club Speedway. All the way down at the bottom like the 87's doing now as he's getting ready to jump onto pit road. But you can race all the way down at the bottom, all the way up at the top by the wall. But another thing you want to watch out for, as we'll jump on the front end here of Philip Scott, is see those seams going across the racetrack there. There's slightly less grip compared to the asphalt here at Auto Club. So if you get your right side tire on there, that is going to kick you sideways in a hurry, especially on cold tires. Not a whole lot of grip. And also you can see how much the car is bouncing. It's not a very smooth racetrack. Heck, in real life the track doesn't even exist anymore, and even then it was in need for a repave. And you could really get a sense of how bouncy and bumpy this track is all the way down the front, the back straightaway. As you see there, Philip Scott so far fastest on the board. Behind him is Adam Stewart. Stewart so far 18th. 23 cars in the field for tonight. Some very healthy field numbers here for TNR in this first half of the season.
Love to see it.
Here's another driver here, the 47 of Ace House. House has had an up and down season so far, runs really well, but last couple of races just kind of got caught up in other people's issues, and unfortunately for him, kind of came out on the receiving end of things. And Adam Boislard in the 06, he actually just goes fastest overall with a 40.485. And as we say that, John Cannizzaro Jr. goes fastest with a 40.475. Joe, the top three, 40.4, 75, 85, and 88. So mere thousands
huge,
of a second.
huge difference,
Yeah, absolutely massive difference there. As the drivers finishing up, and our pole sitter, John Cannizzaro Jr., is going to lead the field to green as we get ready to race here at Auto Club. Tonight's race brought to you by Shane Ewing. Much appreciated to him for stepping up and making sure tonight's broadcast goes on the air. But let's take a look here at the starting lineup for tonight's California 150. On the pole tonight is going to be, like we mentioned, John Cannizzaro Jr. On his outside, we see the 06 of Adam Boislard. Row number 2, we have Ace House on the outside, Philip Scott on the inside. Shane Ewing starts 5th with Matt Schlosser in 6th. Row number 4, we have Jason Freeman. Jason coming back to TNR after a little while of an absence. So great to see Jason back on the grid with Jamar Dumas on his outside. Jeremy Knut and Robert Tripp round out the top 10. Next row is Jason Shu and Eric Jeffrey. Row number 7, we have John Cannizzaro Sr. and Tommy Cook. Ray Payne and Dave Batone in row number 8. Row number 9 is Steve Bevacqua and Ross Stevens. Adam Stewart and Samuel Andrews make up row number 10. Row number 11 has Tim Branson and Garrett Gleason, with Johnny Williams rounding out our 23-car field. Odds are Garrett will not be racing. He was mentioning how he's a little bit under the weather, bit of a sore throat. So, G, wishing you're feeling well and hoping you're doing all right. So after just a couple more moments, the field will be getting ready to go racing here at Auto Club Speedway. And Joe, I'm excited. I absolutely love this track.
Yeah, everyone last week
here too.
They were really looking forward to this track. Like you said earlier, a lot of lanes, a lot of different ways to race it. There's a lot of cars out there, so anything could happen.
Yeah, and it's going to be so much fun to watch these drivers just attempt, even just barely attempt to run around this track is going to be a ton of fun as we're waiting on a few more cars to pull off of pit road. And just watching them go around this track, picking a lane, trying not to spin out here as you see on the inside. You know, you see those thick lines there of the sealer between the lanes. Last thing you need to do on cold tires, come across that lane a little too much. It's going to kick the rear end of the car around. And if you're up at the front, you wind up spinning in front of the field. It's going to be trouble. So as the rest of the field scrolls atop scrolls atop your screen, rather, pace car getting ready to pull off. "23 cars out on the track. Pace car pulls in, field in the command of John Cannizzaro Jr. Cannizzaro missed last week, but he's here today. Green flag is in the air, and we're racing here at Auto Club. 75 laps here tonight. As Philip Scott gets a great jump, he's going to poke to the inside of Cannizzaro. Now we're 3 wide for first into turn 1. Scott held to the bottom. Not a whole lot of turn down there. Cannizzaro should have the advantage as he slides up in front of Boislard. Scott and Boislard side by side. That'll let Cannizzaro jump ahead, and he's going to play Pied Piper into turn 3. Cody in the chat saying, I'm rooting for my favorite driver, Ross Stevens. Ross so far back in P20. Meanwhile, Cannizzaro is going to lead lap 1. Boisler starts to peek ahead. This will jump on board with the 04 Matt Schlosser. Drivers right now favoring the bottom, and typically what's going to happen is these guys will all start at the bottom, race down low. As they feel like the car is a little bit too slow down on the bottom, they're going to slowly start to migrate up the track as the race goes on, as the tires go on, start falling off a bit. But then, as I say that, we see Philip Scott running the high line here. Watching the field fan out. Cannizzaro this time stays high. Shane Ewing gets a push, and this has always been one of Shane's bread and butter tracks. As Ewing takes a dive to the inside, he's going to clear Cannizzaro. Can he slide up in front? He does. New leader, Shane Ewing. Now here's Cannizzaro. He's going to battle back to the inside. Ewing holds strong as 77 gets a little sideways on that bottom seam. He's going to sneak up right behind Ewing, and Philip Scott trying to decide who's going to follow. Connor Gray in the chat saying Ray Payne the best driver. Payne having himself a pretty decent season so far. He's currently running in P16 at the moment. Shane Ewing out front. Here comes Philip Scott to the inside of Cannizzaro Jr. Take a look a little bit further back. Here's Cannizzaro Sr. in the all-black 55. He's putting some pressure on the 133 of Eric Jeffrey. Jeffrey all of the back bumper of Senior. Just in front of him, both of them trying to track down the 28 of Jamar Dumas. Top, Jeffrey snags the wall on the outside. He's going to keep going. He'll lose out a little bit of momentum, but him and Senior still side by side into one. You know, another battle now. It's Tommy Cook in the 0-2 trying to put some pressure on the outside of Cannizzaro. Steve Evacqua looking on. There's Bivacqua just kind of watching this battle, a couple of car lengths back. And the hardest part at this point in the race is just you don't want to overdrive. You don't want to use too much of the right front, because as this race goes on, that right front just gets sadder and sadder. It loses grip every single lap. and it gets just tougher to run the lap times you were hoping to run. Meanwhile, Jamar Dumas trying to put the pressure on the 3 of Jason Shu. He is going to clear Shu. Back Tommy Cook to the inside. Like just a little bit ago, Johnny Williams had a bit of an off-track incident. Let's take a look at that one on the Tabletop Trio replay. So there is Williams down, coming out of turn 4. And oh yeah, just caught a big slide. Able to save it, but he's quite far off the pace.
Is this one of those tracks where falling behind, kind of like a super speedway, we're going to have issues here?
Yeah, it's definitely a draft dependent track, not so much like a super speedway where everyone's all packed up and everything like that, but I mean, the second you lose the draft and you lose the pack, you're just hoping for a caution at this point. And so, as we say, it looks like Johnny Williams heads down pit road. New leader though, Canizaro Jr. So Johnny Williams pulls out. 21 cars currently on the racetrack. As Shane Ewing falls back, and he'll lose the position of Boysley.
I don't know if the person was in the chat from a few weeks ago. Are we doing double or nothing for a pulled pork road if Dumas wins?
You know, I feel like when Dumas gets a win, we are owed pork roll.
I will paint him a whole vehicle. I would like to note, I'm not good at painting vehicles. But I do have some bangers.
That is true. Couple of good battles here on the racetrack between the 32, the 04, the 99, and the 20. Top 4 guys here under a blanket as Philip Scott gets the inside of Schlosser. Schlosser enjoying the high side. He's going to try to power back around the 99 up top. He's going to get slowed up a little bit by the 32 of Ewing. But now here comes Freeman. Oh, and they're 3 wide coming across the line. And we'll bump Philip Scott up to 3rd temporarily. Schlosser down low. Trying to get some work done on the outside, guys. Nothing quite going there. It's like one car might have scraped the wall coming out on the exit. That's the 3, I believe, of Jason Shu. Meanwhile, a little bit further back, here's a good little battle. Tim Branson in that 92 Budweiser machine trying to put some pressure on the 66 of Dave Batone. The old Elliott Sadler throwback. Great looking 66 car. That thing is sweet.
Yeah, these guys show up here week over week with just some fantastic quote paint on these cars.
Yeah, another one there is that 4 of Adam Stewart in the Welts Clothing machine. Friends at weltsclothing.com. I'm actually wearing my Welts Clothing hat at the moment. Definitely got to get Adam to send you some merch there, Joe.
One of these days.
Got to rep the sponsors as much as you can. A little bit further back, here's Branson and Batone battling it out. Up front, you're not missing a whole lot. A couple of drivers, actually, I'm just now noticing that we're missing. A couple of our front runners with the Dizzy guys not in the race tonight.
Yeah, I noticed there's a couple guys missing.
DeBarro, Cohan, Gabo as well. As Canizaro Sr. goes for a little ride. Let's take a look at what exactly happened there for the 55. Just something so easy to do here. As out of the corner. Whoa.
Well, he did follow the tar line.
He did, and that is so easy to do. I will say that is incredibly easy to do. I've done that far too many times.
Yeah, well, it was the crash in the squiggle was also following the tar line.
You know, just painting inside the lines.
Yeah, I blame the track on that one.
Yeah. Yeah, why would you paint your lanes like that? Come on, Auto Club.
Yeah, literally painted a lane into a wall.
Yeah, which is now that part of the track is now the Amazon warehouse. So.
Oh, so they were just setting the line up for the parking anyway.
Yeah. So coming up on 55 laps remaining here at Auto Club. Shane Ewing, after leading a few laps, starting to fall back a bit. He's down in 6th.
Yeah, I was wondering, because usually Canizaro would be in the same boat, but he's been running a lot better this year, burning out his tires significantly less. I feel like in earlier seasons we'd be calling him pretty regularly pitting early because he just absolutely wreck his tires. But lately, at least this season thus far, he's been holding his own.
Yeah, he really has, and he's been doing a great job at it. Running up front, putting pressure on the leaders. Not really overdriving or anything like that. Definitely great to see. A couple of really fun theme nights coming up too for TNR this season. Looking forward to all of them. But in particular, coming up on Monday, April 6th at Darlington, that's in a few weeks, it's going to be the throwback race. Drivers can throw back to any of their favorite paint schemes throughout the years. May 4th, obviously, because May the 4th be with you, is going to be the Star Wars race. Very, very excited for that. That's going to be a ton of fun. And on June 1st is the Talladega doubleheader presented by Welts Clothing. So all these races are a ton of fun, but those themed nights are always a good time.
Yeah, it's always fun to see these guys put out something weird and kooky on their cars.
Yeah, I've already seen a few guys claim which Star Wars characters they want to rep on their car, so
I'm just gonna paint I would paint my entire car just like lightsaber blue.
That'd be
That's
pretty
it.
great.
I'm a lightsaber. Zoom. You make the noise.
You know what? You're not wrong. Part of me would want to do either the Andor series, because again, I'm a giant Star Wars nerd and I came up with a theme night, so oh well.
Checks out.
Or I would choose like some super random obscure character.
I'm gonna choose the trumpet player. I don't remember what movie it is, but the trumpet player.
Is that one of the Cantina band members?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for the one guy. He's like a dinosaur-looking guy named Trebor, because they literally named a character after a guy on the crew, Robert, which ironically enough is what one of my D&D characters was.
Yeah, it was.
Biggest mover in the race so far is this guy. It's the 92 of Tim Branson, up 9 spots since the drop of the green flag. In front of him, Adam Stewart +8. Stewart just outside of the top 10. He's having himself a fantastic evening.
Yeah.
And the best part is he is not Ace House, so we can say that and will not immediately cause turmoil.
We hope.
Yeah, that is true. We hope.
Out in the chat, we got a lot of people rooting for Ray Payne.
They see that Morgan in there as well as Connor. Let's take a look to see where Ray is. Currently, Ray running in P16 in that Chick-fil-A sponsored Supra. Good battle behind him between Dave Batone and Samuel Andrews. And right up against that wall for the 62. Payne now looking to the outside of Shu. Noticing there's a lot of red cars in the field tonight.
Yeah, a lot of red. Good thing there's no bulls nearby. Not that they would catch them, but you know.
Yeah. Yeah, and neither would the Red Bull team of Formula One, but that's another that's another story for another day. Right now, out front, the top 3 cars all running where they started, with Cannizzaro first, Adam Boislard second, Philip Scott in third.
Yeah, Boisler was peaking there for a second, but Cannizzaro was able to fight him off, and he has dropped just a hair, but is still right up on him.
0.3 of a second lead over Boislard as Jason Shu jumps down pit road.
I was wondering when the pits would start happening.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that because right now it's that awkward time where, okay, if you pit on lap 30, you're going to have to pit again on lap 60. You're still 15 laps off. So if you can get to 40, you can make it no problem. Question is, can they make it to 40?
That is a good question. Time will tell. Stay tuned.
On board now with Boislard. You can just see how steady you have to hold the wheel, otherwise it's so easy to lose the back end. And take another listen as you go into the corner. You can actually hear the tires shaking.
See the shake.
And one thing's interesting. I noticed it as he was going into 3. Let's see if he does it into 1, where you almost have to, like... There's a technique they use to, like, jerk the wheel into the corner. Didn't do it here. But you almost pitch the car into the corner to start the turn, and that gets the car on the right or the left rear and helps you drive through the corner a little bit better. Let's see if he does it into 3. Yeah, right there. You see how he shifted the wheel and you felt the car get a little bit sideways, caught the slide, and that's how he runs through the corner. You're almost borderline dirt tracking the car. And it actually helps you get a good drive out of the corner. It saves the right front tire. And it's a really interesting strategy to see done here at Auto Club. We'll take a look at that one more time as, he gets in the wall. Take one more look here. Right there as he almost overturns into the corner just to create a little bit of a slide, and you just hold that slide through the corner.
See, I always think slide bad, slide heat.
Typically, yes, but if you're driving off of the rears, it saves the fronts. Now, granted, there is a time when too much heat is certainly a bad thing. But at this point, you almost would rather a little more rear heat than front heat, because front, your car just goes straight and doesn't get any turn. You almost wind up using the throttle as the main steering and use the front wheels to just kind of guide the car.
Things I learned. And then we'll crash while practicing.
There's Philip Scott. Cannizzaro just about 1/10 of a second faster that time through. Cannizzaro led 27 laps so far. Shane Ewing the other 7. Ewing, after falling back to 6th, is kind of just maintained as this run goes on. But Joe, a little further back, we got ourselves a little gaggle of cars here for 10th. Adam Stewart has it. Everyone else wants it. Stewart holding on strong in 10th.
Though just by a hair.
As we've got our first driver, coming down pit road hot. That's the 06 of Boislard. That was certainly an interesting way to come down pit road. I'm curious to see if that was intended or what exactly had happened there.
Yeah.
Yep, certainly was intentionally. Did catch grass a little bit, which is why I was concerned. And whoa, man. Huge slide.
Yeah, it was a lockup and a half.
As now I've got Cannizzaro Jr. on pit road. And now this is going to be tight because you're coming down on lap 36. 36 and 36, that's 72.
I wonder if Cannizzaro is just pitting to respond and knows that he'll be fine. You know what I mean?
That very well could. I mean, I'm genuinely curious, though, to see what's going to happen with Philip Scott.
Yeah.
And
I
because
mean,
he's clearly staying out again.
yeah.
And if he gets to 38, he should be able to make it all the way now.
Yeah, I wonder if for him it's just the insurance policy. He knows he'll be able to, hit it a little harder and not have to fuel save if he just goes the extra few laps.
That could be. As you see Canizaro and Boisler right there fighting for position. Philip Scott just behind them. Freeman, House, Branson, Bivacqua, Andrews, Jeffrey, and Payne all pit now. Top 5 staying out as long as they can. Everyone down on pit road. Look at that. Freeman, there's House, there's Branson, there's Robert Tripp, Eric Jeffrey, Steve Bivacqua, everyone on pit road. I mean, you would have to think Scott's going to come down this time.
You would think. I mean, if he tries to hit that one more, that magic 40, who knows?
Yeah, just in case of overtime or something along those lines. And,
Yeah.
well, looks like he's going to do it. Looks like Cook and Stevens both making their way onto pit road. Cook onto pit road, Ross out off of pit road. There's Dave Batone just behind him. Tommy Cook, like I mentioned, pitting. Field all spread out.
Yeah, if it wasn't before, it is now.
And Philip Scott still staying out.
Huh.
The only car who is yet to pit.
Yeah,
When
now
Philip... Go ahead.
41.
Yeah, and when he does head down pit road, our new leader will be Adam Boislard.
So not by much.
Yeah, not at all by much. Look at that 34.4 versus a 35 flat. And closing. That is going to be the gap when Scott does come down pit road, and he's looking to come this time potentially. Yes, here he comes. Oh, Philip Scott locks it up. Just barely graces the wall.
I think he was trying to come in real hot, try to save as much time as possible.
Yeah, it just got a little too hot onto pit road.
Yeah.
But car doesn't look too damaged.
Yeah, I think by the time he tapped that wall, he was only doing like 15, 20.
Yeah.
Which, for most people is like a police call, a report, and a trip to the hospital. But, there's a lot of padding and support in these things.
That's why they have crash helmets, folks.
Exactly. If everyone had one of those everyday driving, I bet the hospitals would be so happy.
Meanwhile, great battle here down the back straightaway. Here's junior rather, trying to put the pressure on Boislard. He's got his father, John Canizaro Sr., just behind him in the 55. Junior looking to do a little elevator move. He's up top against Boislard. He's going to follow him. Thinks better about it. Now he's got to run side by side into turn 1. This is for the lead. Joe, after that, Philip Scott merges back in 7th. So after that pit cycle, Scott lost 4 spots. Just by pitting it a little bit later than everyone else. Although that could help, as he's really the only driver who can, without a doubt, say, yes, I can make it the rest of the way.
Yeah, and push it.
Yeah. But then again, we saw Philip be able to make it to lap 40, or rather pit on lap 41. I think if the rest of these drivers could have made it to 41, that should just be the only pit stop they need.
Yeah. I don't. It's one of those things where you can't really tell, because I mean, we've known for years at this point that Scott is pretty fantastic at fuel savings and kind of getting to a rhythm. And you know, we're not sure if everybody else can get into that same rhythm.
Yeah, and that's going to be a huge play, for Philip, if he can make that fuel mileage stick and go the 40 laps again, and the other guys simply just can't do it.
Also possible, a caution comes out, and then who knows?
Yeah, we've absolutely seen that happen a few times. I think Philip was one of the beneficiaries to that last week or a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
This battle between Shane Ewing and Jason Freeman. Freeman just now starting to pull away. Branson now trying to track down Ace House,
Who has quietly been having a fantastic season, by the way.
really has, even though, he has been caught up in a couple of incidents this season. He's still been doing pretty well.
Currently sitting 5th place.
So even better season than thought.
I look at statistics sometimes.
Yeah, as we see here, Anthony DeBarro, or as I see here, rather, I still have to put the graphic together for the points. Anthony DeBarro, our points leader over Adam Boislard, with one less race completed. House up to 5th, Shane Ewing in 4th in points, Philip Scott in 3rd. Only 1 point behind Boislard for 2nd.
Yeah. I know he's a couple races down, but it's a wild stat that Cannizzaro Sr. is higher in the field than Cannizzaro Jr.
Let's just not remind...
I'm sure he rubs it in every day.
Oh, absolutely. I was going to say, let's not remind... you know what? We should remind Junior about that.
Yeah, great race tonight. So your dad's ahead of you.
So coming in tonight, did the fact that your father's ahead of you in points give you any sort of push to try to get this win tonight? You and I already know that is going to be one of our questions for Cannizzaro, should everything continue here with 26 laps to go.
He has returned back to that P1 position.
About a second over Boislard. And then we're going to have to go 8 seconds back to 3rd place with Matt Schlosser.
Yeah. Looks like Scott has moved up a little bit.
Yeah, he picked up 1 spot. He's up to 6th, but he's 6.5 seconds behind Shane Ewing.
That being said, it does look like He is running about a half-second faster per lap.
Yeah, let's take a look here. Scott on Ewing. Yeah, last time by, Scott was 0.6 faster. This time by, another 0.5, like you mentioned, Joe. So Philip is certainly moving up through the field, and he's got 6-lap fresher tires.
Yeah, I'm looking out here. Canizaro Jr. doing about 42.1-ish seconds per lap. Philip Scott currently leading everyone, doing a 41.5.
Yeah, so very fast here at Richmond, and those fresh tires are absolutely showing. And you see right there, he's caught up big time to Shane Ewing. Only 0.6 separate the two of them. And Philip just, again, 0.6 of a second faster than Ewing this time through. As a man on a mission.
Yeah, well, he's got some time to go, but not a lot of laps yet left.
Yeah, I mean, there are, 24 laps remaining, coming to 23 to go. Plenty of time. There could be incidents, there could be yellows, etc. But it's certainly going to be interesting to see how that one plays out. As Scott there gets the pass done around Shane Ewing, moves Scott up to 5th. I know we've mentioned it before, but what a run here for Adam Stewart. Silently having a great run, plus 11 since the start of the race, currently running in 8th. I mean, you got to give props to Adam. One of those drivers that constantly just improves every single race. Always a threat to win at super speedways. Always the guy who's out front and says, I'm not going to worry about tire saving or fuel saving or any of that. This is a race I'm going to push. And, sometimes you got to have that mindset. And we saw him at Daytona to start the year, leading laps, constantly running up front. And just having himself one hell of a season with these O'Reilly Auto Parts cars.
It really has.
One thing of note, next Monday there is going to be a TNR race. However, there will not be a broadcast. I have some work obligations I need to take care of, so not going to be broadcasting next week's race, so you'll be able to join us in 2 weeks here on the Tabletop Trio Podcast Network for our next TNR broadcast.
Yeah, no one wants me behind the wheel of these controls for a week, trust me.
Although that would be entertaining.
I could set it to broadcast, there'll be no audio.
There's Jeremy Canute having himself a run, currently in 11th. A little bit further back, there's the 89 of Ross Stevens. Ross Stevens fan club checking in earlier. Another fan club with a bunch of members. This guy is 62 of Ray Payne. He's putting some pressure here on Robert Tripp. Started 15th, currently running in 15th. And just behind him is the 91 of Samuel Andrews. See that white car just to the top of your screen? That's our leader, John Canizaro Jr. He's opened up a 2-second lead over Adam Boislard. these three have been all over each other, this battle for 8th.
Yeah, look who just moved up to P4.
That would be Philip Scott. Trying to track down Matt Schlosser now for 3rd. As, oh, trouble! Little bit of contact between the 92 and the 4. That's going to benefit Cook. As, oh, Cook grabs the wall too. That was certainly interesting. Let's see if they can figure it out here through 3 and 4.
I was just going to bring those two up. Having fantastic races so far.
Yeah.
Branson up 13 positions.
Hands down the biggest mover of the race.
Yeah, well, Stewart was right behind him with a 11. Not anymore, but...
So yeah, let's take a look here real quick at the replay of what in the world happened between the 92 and the 4. Because it looked to me like the 92 just got in the corner a little too hot. So Branson gets a good head of steam. And oh yeah, he wasn't expecting the 4 to slow up that much.
Yeah. Good recovery, though.
Yeah, a great recovery. Meanwhile, the gap up front has not changed. Here comes Philip Scott, though, to the inside of Schlosser.
If this
Scott,
holds, he regains his
close.
position.
That is super tight.
Yeah.
Get up close and personal with Matt Schlosser here. As we're taking a look here at the temperature, 70 degree air temp. A little bit of wind, partly cloudy skies. Just a gorgeous night for a race.
Yeah. Great conditions.
Philip Scott really running the high side. Schlosser just trying to do something different. Just behind him, though, is Jason Freeman putting the pressure on.
We've got 13 to go. Scott is about 3 to 4 tenths of a second faster per lap. Does he have enough time?
That could be interesting to see. So let's take a look here. Let's pull up Philip Scott's info. The last lap versus the leader. He's 2 tenths per lap. 5 laps to a second. He's only got 12 laps to go.
So unless there's a major change in pace.
Yeah, unless Cannizzaro's tires just fall off completely. It
Which
may
has
wind up
happened.
being a little too late, but you are absolutely correct.
with any other racer, I'd say it's probably fine. But we have seen that happen to Cannizaro Jr.
Adam Boislert as well. He's just behind Canizaro, now 2.5 seconds back. Ray Payne right there. Comments already calling it Ray Payne, Rookie of the Year. He's having himself a good run, currently running in 16th. First car 1 lap down. So out of anyone, he's the one who's hoping for a caution right now. Just to get himself back on the lead lap.
Absolutely.
A little bit of lap traffic ahead that could slow Canizaro back.
Yeah, if they don't play nice, let's see.
You know, though sometimes that all clean white cars actually pretty sweet looking. Though we do have to get a sponsor on him.
Yeah. I want them sponsored by Mini. Just put a Mini Cooper just right over the shell. But like the Little Tykes version, I think it'd be hilarious.
Oh, that would be amazing. I think it could be done. I know in a few weeks the Philadelphia Hot Sauce Festival race will be here on the Tabletop Trio Podcast Network. John, Kyle, and the gang from the Hot Sauce Festival will be sponsoring the race. Hoping to see a car on track for it, too. Very excited for that. Philly Hot Sauce Festival at Neshaminy Creek Brewing over in PA. If you're local enough to the area, make sure you pop on by. Enjoy some spicy challenges.
Delicious
Speaking
sauces.
of... Oh, yes. We're going to be assisting the judges for this year's festival again. Schlosser looking to get some more pressure back on Freeman. Freeman did get around Schlosser. They got some spicy challenges between the two of them.
Absolutely.
8 to go. This battle is for 4th. That time, really the last 3 laps, they've been just about even. So great side-by-side action here between Schlosser and Freeman. This is the closest battle on the track. Meanwhile, this battle heating up. Adam Stewart putting the pressure on Jamar Dumas. Here comes Stewart to the inside. Stewart looking to reclaim 8th again. Tommy Cook just in front of them saying, all right, you guys fight. I'll drive off into the sunset.
Branson right behind Stewart. You know, hey, don't forget I'm right here. They've been going back and forth all race.
Yeah, they've been practically glued to each other's bumpers this entire race. Both of them actually fighting for most positions gained. Both sitting plus 11 at the moment.
Yeah.
And with that pass, Branson gets plus 12. He's looking for 13, trying to get the pressure on Stewart with 5 to go.
Stewart's going to try to catch up to Cook.
Yeah, he's sitting there saying, guys, come on. As Ace House has to head down pit road. Fuel could be an issue now. pop on board this time here with Cannizzaro Jr. Doesn't sound like he's been clutching in. But Cannizzaro last pit on lap 36, Boislard in 35. They should be able to make it in theory.
House out of the race. He must have had some something happen.
Yeah, let's take a look here. Here is the 47. He's already heading down pit road. No, he might have gotten caught speeding and just decided it wasn't good. Because it doesn't look like he had any issues.
Interesting. That's a tough break.
Yeah, you know, we were just saying he's having a great run, having a great season, 5th in points. Now we've got this battle again. With 3 to go. Stewart doing everything he can to hold off Branson. This is going to be an incredible fight all season long if these two guys are so close to each other. This is going to be awesome. Cannizzaro Sr. there. Not part of this fight. He's back in 18th. As Cannizzaro Jr. takes the white flag, one more lap to go. With a 4.8 second gap over Adam Boislard. "61 out of 74 laps ran tonight." Cannizzaro Jr. absolutely dominated the field.
Yeah, 100%. Scott with a valiant effort, but just wrong timing on that pit, I guess.
Yeah, just a little too late. As at a turn 4, checkered flag in the air. John Cannizzaro Jr. is going to win at Auto Club. Adam Boislard comes home in second. Third place is Philip Scott. Jason Freeman, welcome back to TNR. You'll get a top 5 in 4th with Matt Schlosser in 5th. Shane Ewing comes home 6th. Tommy Cook is going to come home 7th. Adam Stewart hangs on for 8th. Tim Branson 9th. And Jamar Dumas going to come home in 10th. Or Jeremy Canoe, rather, in 10th.
Hey, he snuck into that one.
With Dumas in 11th. It sounds like Dumas might have been out of fuel.
Oh, that is very possible.
Yeah, real tough break there for that 47 of Ace House.
I always have fireworks on this track.
Only at night.
Huh. That makes sense.
As let's see Cannizzaro burn it down here on the front stretch. The man with the John Force style burnouts. As Cannizzaro Sr. celebrates with his son. What a finish. What a great race.
Yeah. No,
Even with, I was going to say, even with Cannizzaro winning those, or leading the majority of the race, was still one heck of a fight.
Absolutely.
Let's see if we can't get our our drivers in the interview waiting room. But Joe, I believe you've caught up with our third place finisher, Philip Scott.
Hey, Philip, congratulations on the podium here tonight. It looked like you had a little bit of a different uh, pit strategy going into this that ended up kind of costing more time. What happened there?
Yeah, so I tried to overcut a little bit, but I had like 6 more laps of fuel like when Adam pit, and so I'm just like I was just like might as well try to see what I can do, but then like my car just hit the wall, the metaphorical wall, uh like right after that, but I kind of made my bed, so uh I just had to deal with it, but I almost wrecked coming onto pit road. That was terrifying. My rears, because you got to run low brake bias here, and I came down pit road. I looped it, half looped it. I got it locked up, but I probably lost a good few seconds. Uh,
Mhm.
and I hit the inside wall, and I lucked out that I didn't get any damage from it because I had it locked down enough. So that cost me a few seconds. Because if it wasn't for that, I think I would have been able to get up to Adam. But instead, I had to kind of uh, deal. I had to pass a few other cars to get there. I had to pass Jamar, Shane, Matt, and Jason. So that made it a little hard because I had to battle them because by the time I caught up to Matt and Jason, I mean, the advantage had kind of worn off on the tires. Um, but yeah, it was a lot of fun racing with everybody today. It was great that it went green the whole way with a uh, with a pretty full grid. So, and nice work to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. It was great to see the clean race, green flag throughout. You had, I believe, the fastest laps this evening. I know this line you could race everywhere. Kind of, where did you end up sitting the most that you felt more comfortable?
Um, well, I kind of realized just how later on in the first run, and then as I was trying to get past cars in the second run, I was really I realized how much grip there actually was right up against the wall, so I was like braking really late and able to I was able to catch it, and that was big in 1 and 2. Then 3 and 4, I was just doing like a late apex. There's just like this really specific little specific part of like the middle of turn 4 where I was able to around the bottom, the seam on the second lane, that I was able to get the car rotated and get like a big gas it up and get a big run out of there. But yeah, it's so fun because there's so much room here and so many lanes you can take. Um so yeah, I was mainly doing top in 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4 on the bottom.
Gotcha. And I'm sure you got some shout outs for us.
Yeah, shout outs to Obstacle Factory, Team Ninja Association, and shout outs to Jason Freeman for coming back. He was one of the first guys I raced with back when I first started racing in this league back in 2020. So it's cool to see him back, and he's just as good as I remember. So he hasn't missed a beat. So good stuff.
Awesome. Well, congrats again, and hopefully we'll be chatting with you next week.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
All right, that's Philip Scott, our second or third place finisher, rather, here tonight in Auto Club. I'm now joined by our second place finisher, driver of the number 06 machine, Adam Boislard. And Adam, congrats on the second place finish. Looked like it was going to be a duel between you and John, and just it was one of those things where you guys were so close coming out of pit road. You wound up kind of winning that first cycle, and then Canizaro just kind of took off.
Yeah, I think in hindsight, the undercut wasn't the right move. It was a good battle there at the first stint. I was just trying to conserve and stay behind, just stay in fighting distance, and knew I was going to try to pit early. But fall off was like half a tenth to a tenth a lap, especially towards the middle, later part of the stint, and when didn't have a great pin entry, had to struggle to get the tires up to temp. By the time all that happens, my lead wasn't big enough to try to hold on, but it was a good race, good showing. Glad it ran caution free and we were able to stay clean.
And, speaking of a clean, caution free race, 75 laps here at Auto Club isn't, exactly a walk in the park because, like you mentioned, the fact that there's so much tire fall off, the fact that there's so many lanes at your choice, and, also kind of managing the weight of the car, having to kind of almost dirt track the car through the corners, watching out for the seams. I'm sure that was pretty tough on top of fuel saving and everything else you have going on.
Yeah, certainly. It was struggle to keep it planted in the right rear. I did the best I could. I feel like I had a pretty good, like I said, felt like I had a pretty good first stint, and then when you're trying to fight for the win at the end there, and you don't have a caution to bank on, it's hard to keep all that balance together.
And shifting gears to next week, going from Auto Club here this week to Martinsville next week, what are your thoughts about the just two vastly different racetracks?
Well, I don't think it'll be caution free next week. I'll just put it that way. Uh, I have fun at Martinsville. I hope we can. Honestly, it is a very fun track if you can get a run there. So hope we get another good turnout, and hope we keep it clean again. It'll be fun. It'll be good. Maybe some more door banning.
That'll be an absolute blast. Adam, before we let you go, I'm sure you have some shout outs, so let's hear them.
Yep. Shout out you guys in the booth, TNR, for putting on a good show. Everyone who runs the show here, and John as well for a good race, and Philip almost came back as well. And then I'll give a special shout out to my Huskies. Women won the Big East today. Men coming up later this week, so rooting for them as we get into March.
Awesome. Well, Adam, congrats on the second place finish, and hopefully we'll be chatting with you next week after Martinsville.
Sounds good. Talk later.
All right, that is Adam Boisler, our second place finisher. And Joe has made his way down to victory lane to chat with the wild child himself, John Cannizzaro Jr.
I forgot about that. Sorry.
Hey,
It's been a while since I've been here.
come up with your own victory music. I'm here for it.
It's been a while since I've been here.
Yeah, congratulations coming off of a few races out. How does it feel? You led, I think, 61 out of the 75 laps.
I have no idea where any of that speed came from. I was sitting on the couch, minding my own business, watching. Probably, I don't even remember what I was watching. And I'm thinking, if the senior's gonna race, maybe I'll consider. I went, sat down on my computer, looked at the entry list, and DeBarrow's not racing. Oh, maybe I'll be competitive for once in my life. I did not expect to get pulled. I was the last car in qualifying to take time, and I got the pole by the skin of my teeth. And we've said it enough times. I'm not a great long run car. But in the time I've been gone from the end of last season, obviously I had my wrist injury, the one hand wonder, as I was called. I've been doing a lot of short track stuff, trying to get back on dirt racing, and I've personally been on a lot of up and downs recently, so I've just kind of been trying to get back to myself. And I think in that time I definitely learned a little bit more about the long run, and hopefully the more races I show up to, maybe I'll be more competitive. Until then, I'm just gonna keep showing up, and I don't know what happened today. I just decided that I was gonna be competitive.
We were talking about that up in the booth. Normally, you are not the long run guy, but that did not seem the case today. I know Boisler pit, you pit right after that. Was the plan to do so, or did you just not really want a split between you two?
Oh well, me and him were talking about it. I still had about 6 laps left, and I didn't want to pit that early. And I know I got away from him at the end of that run. He started slipping back, so I was gonna start trying to do like the Kevin Harvick Atlanta method, just lift it, coast it through the corner, and get back on the gas as late as I could, and try to get whatever laps I could out of it. And as soon as he pit, I immediately went into turn 2 and almost pancaked the wall that doesn't exist anymore. So I think it was my time to come down pit road, whether I wanted to or not. And I think him and Phil both had, a lot of issues getting on pit road. I had no pit road practice. I had 10 minutes total of practice time. So I just eased it on down there, pulled second gear, and hammered the brakes on. And if I knew what the pit road speed limit was, I'd be lying.
So with that, it's a big win for you. You move up in the points for the standings. Is your goal to beat your father this season? Because currently he is sitting well ahead of you right now.
Well, he did not beat me in the burnout contest. I can tell you that much. On the white flag, I'm trying to tell him come do donuts with me. It's been a long time since I've actually won a race, especially this year. So, have some fun with it. He's definitely been getting better too. And I don't think I got to try hard to beat him. Don't tell him that. But
Just don't show him the broadcast, I guess.
He'll find it on his own. When the plate tracks come back around again, we'll see if we can try to get him that win still. Unfortunately, Daytona this year wasn't very friendly to us, so we'll see what happens. But I'm not stressing over it.
And I'm sure you got some shout outs for us.
Yeah, I gotta thank you guys. You guys are still here, and it's great to see TNR getting the car counts that it used to when I first showed up. It kind of makes me happy again that this league is getting its resurrection that it really deserves, because you guys with the broadcast every week, Bob with the schedule, and Philip, Jamar, Garrett, everybody helps get TNR going, and they all deserve it. They work very hard. You guys work very hard, and I can't really thank Tyler, who used to make all my cars, because it's kind of all white. But I'm sure he's somewhere wanting to be thanked. So I gotta thank him too. And that's about it for once.
Well, congratulations again, and if you are racing next week, hopefully we'll be chatting with you.
I hope so too. See you guys.
All right, that's John Cannizzaro Jr., our winner here tonight at Auto Club. Just a fun race overall, a great run for John, and one of those races where, yeah, sure, John may have led 62 out of the 70 some odd laps in this one, but it didn't really feel like it. We had a lot of great battles all throughout the field. Tim Branson, the biggest mover of the race, with 12 positions gained, started in 21st and wound up finishing P9 just behind Adam Stewart. So a great run there for Branson. Let's take a look at the final results for tonight's race, as our winner is John Cannizzaro Jr. over Adam Boislert and Philip Scott. Jason Freeman, first race of the season, first race in a while with TNR, comes home fourth, and Matt Schlosser in fifth. Shane Ewing finishes sixth with Tommy Cook in seventh, Adam Stewart eighth, Tim Branson ninth, and Jeremy Knut rounds out our top 10. Jamar Dumas comes home 11th, Steve Bevacqua in 12th, Robert Tripp 13th, Samuel Andrews 14th, Dave Batone in 15th. Ray Payne, the Ray Payne faithful, cheering him on in 16th. Ross Stevens, 17th. John Cannizzaro Sr. comes home in 18th. 19th belongs to Jason Shue. Eric Jeffrey comes home in 20th. Ace House in 21st, with Johnny Williams 22nd, and Garrett Gleason did not start tonight's race. Like we mentioned, no broadcast next week for Martinsville. You could join us in 2 weeks at Kansas Speedway right here on the Tabletop Trio Podcast Network. So for one final time, I'm Bob.
I'm Joe.
And this has been Total Nonstop Racing here at Auto Club. Have a great night.